Hello. Now we're going to take a load table and turn that into a dimension and make a change to that dimension and compare the code. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to browse our data warehouse. So we have some connections to a Snowflake data warehouse. We have user ID and password. We have different settings throughout. If we can go into our extended properties, we have things like our SQL database, our Snowflake database, our warehouse, file formats we're going to be using. All of these actions are all in here as we set up our connection. Now I can browse this connection and connect to Snowflake and look at it through WhereScape RED. So I can even set a filter to load tables because I have many tables up in my warehouse. And so once it puts the filter, I can look and grab one, say customer load customer table. I can take this and I can create a dimension from this load table. So we're going to take it and pull it across, and then it activates the wizards in WhereScape RED. Now, WhereScape RED takes care of things like naming standards and target locations for us, which you can change to match your company standards. So now we have the ability to build a type 1, a type 2, a type 3, and a type 6 dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and do a type 2, the slowly changing, because it is the most common that is difficult to code. So we're going to come in, we're going to click slowly changing. Now, WhereScape allows you to document what you're building very quickly. We can add things like descriptions. So I can say this is for online customers. And you can look at it and put a purpose and a grain and a concept, and these are editable, and you can even change it to something like data steward if you want to. I can come in and say 1 row per online customer. And now I've added to the technical documentation with a little bit of business. Now the next thing we need to do is come in and create the update script. And we can just click on this and rebuild it. And it will walk us through a little bit. Now I have the option to just create or create and load all at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and save a little bit of time clicking. Now, if you do not know how to build a type 2 slowly changing dimension, WhereScape RED will walk you through it. So we can click OK, and it says, oh, the first thing you need is the business key column. So go talk to the business and make sure that they understand what the business key column is. I'm just going to use customer ID for this example. And then if we say OK again, it says, oh, this is a type 2 dimension. You need to add what fields you want to detect changes on. You want to track those changes on. So I'm going to say contact name and contact title. And there we have it. And we have built a type 2 dimension and loaded it. So now if I look, here is the start date, end date, current flag, and version, those typical type 2 dimension fields. It executed it and loaded it. And if we come in, we can look at the code that we just wrote. And this has documentation at the top. It has inline comments. And if we scroll down, we can see some of the type 2 dimension code down here, where this is tracked columns, contact name, contact title. By the way, we built 438 lines of code in a couple of clicks. So if you need to make a change to the tracked fields, like add phone number, whether that's a day, a week, a month later, a year, you don't have to worry about who wrote the code. We can just come in, rebuild the code, add to the change detection field, and add phone number. And now we have made that change to the code, and it is, if if we come in and look at that code one more time, we can see that if we pull up, we have the ability to auto version everything in the data warehouse. I can pull up the previous version that we wrote, and there is a comparison tool, and we can then see that the documentation changed. And if we scroll down, we can see where in that type 2 dimension where it added it in the tracked columns, and if we come down to the untracked columns, it took it away. So you can see very quickly what changed, make the change quickly, and get it done. So that is how you can build a type 2 dimension and change the tracked fields very, very easily. If you are interested in more information, please go to wherescape.com/request the demo.